theory part of pressure and its measurement. Now we have Pascal's law, and it shows your pressure at a point in a static fluid is equal in all direction. And we have derivation of this. We have considered actually a triangular element. You can see this wedge shaped element ABC of unit thickness as shown in figure Px, Py, Pz with the pressure intensities on faces AB, AC and BC. Now, if we will apply summation fx0, fy0, and then we are going to see that the law is satisfied. Now, here we have dy that is equal to ds cos theta, and dx we have that is equal to ds sin theta, where theta is the angle made by BC with vertical. And therefore, this is AB, we have dy, AC, we have dx, BC, we have ds. Now, as we have AB and AC, these are small and divided by 2. So, we have AB, you can see AB, we have dy, and dy we have ds cos theta, and AC we have dx, and dx we have ds sin theta. So if we will write this, then you have this as rho g into AB we have dy, and this is dx. And if you will put these values of theta and cos theta, sin theta, then this becomes very small. And therefore, in the equation, this term is very small, so negligible, and therefore neglected. And therefore, we are going to consider Px, Py, and Pz. So we have applied summation fx0, so Px into dy into 1, because we have considered unit thickness. And therefore, here we have considered rho g into area, and thickness we have 1 only. Now here px into dy into 1 minus pz cos theta into ds into 1. So pz cos theta in x direction, because I have this angle as theta. Now this w is wedge of the element, which is in vertically downward direction. And we are not going to consider it because it is very small. And from this, we have only two forces in x direction. So we have therefore Px equal to Pz. Now we can have this as summation Py equal to 0. Now, as already mentioned, this is not considered. This is weight, which is rho g into area of the triangle. Half AB into AC, which is area of this triangle. That is not considered over here. And if you will solve this, you have ds sin theta, we have dx. So this term is dx, gets cancelled. And this term is actually ds cos theta is dy, gets cancelled. And from this we will get Py equal to Pz, and therefore Px equal to Py equal to Pz. Then we have pressure variation at a point. When a downward force is applied, what happens to the weight of the fluid? So the weight of the fluid increases. Means my weight of the fluid increases in downward direction and decreases if I will go in upward direction, because her depth of the fluid decreases. And this is your hydrostatics law, that is rate of increase of pressure in a vertical downward direction in fluid oblique liquid is equal to the weight density of the fluid. Now you can see this. Let us, we will consider ABCD an element. Let delta Z be the depth of this element, P be the intensity of pressure at AB. So at CD we have P plus dabba P by dabba Z. So we have this value, that is dabba Z value. So this is dabba Z into dz. And now if we will write summation Fy equal to 0, we have weight of this, and that weight we will get rho g, we have this one, unit weight into delta A be the area of this, and delta Z will be the depth of this. And now if we will write this Fy0, so this we are going to write down summation Fy0. So we have minus P into delta A, which is vertically downward, plus this is upward P plus dabba P by dabba Z into delta Z into delta A, minus this is again downward rho G into delta A into delta Z equal to 0. And then simplifying this, we are going to get this as dabba P by dabba Z into delta Z into delta A, and then if we will again simplify, before this minus P delta A and this P delta A, this gets cancelled. So we have this term only. Now from this we have delta A gets cancelled, delta Z cancelled. So we will get dabba P by dabba Z, that is equal to rho G, which is gamma. And if we integrate this, then we will get P is equal to gamma into Z or rho G Z. So my value, as Z increases, my pressure increases. Then we have this relationship between atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure, and vacuum pressure. So we have absolute pressure that is equal to atmospheric plus gauge pressure, and absolute pressure when we have vacuum pressure, so atmospheric minus vacuum pressure. So we have this 10.3 centimeter of mercury, we have this value, atmospheric pressure. And then if we have to find out pressure anywhere which is above atmospheric pressure, then that is known as gauge pressure. And if I have to find out absolute pressure when it is gauge pressure, then I have to add that pressure, gauge pressure into atmosphere, which will gives me value of absolute pressure. Gauge pressure means it is below atmospheric pressure, and therefore whenever I have to find absolute pressure when we have vacuum pressure, then we have to subtract this pressure from atmospheric pressure. So this relation plays very important role when we are with the problems of this. So manometers we are using to measure the pressure at a point, and these are based on the principle of balancing the column of liquid by the same or another column of liquid. Then piezometers, these are the devices used for measuring the moderate gauge pressure at a point. Now we have this as piezometer, so you can connect this any type of piezometer you can use. We have this simply a tube which is in vertical direction. This is one type of piezometer, this is second type of piezometer, and this is third type of piezometer. So any you can consider, but if you will see, the level of this is the same. These are three types of piezometers, and therefore I can say pressure at A equal to pressure at B equal to pressure at C. Now tube greater than 12 millimeter is used in piezometer, because to avoid your capillarity, that is capillary rise and fall, we are preferring the internal diameter of the tube as 25 millimeter for precise work. Then we have drawbacks of piezometer. So now here you can see we cannot go for large pressure and liquid with low density, because in that case length required of the piezometer is very large, and gas pressures cannot be measured because we have one end open to the atmosphere. And to overcome this drawback, we have U-tube manometers, and these U-tube manometers we have with a liquid of higher density than that of the liquid which is in the pipe, or the point at which we have to measure the pressure. So if we will connect it to the pipe, then your liquid will come inside and your of the pipe, and then your manometer height will be changes. Now we have, let us measure pressure at point A, and S we have greater than S of liquid in pipe. I already mentioned it, but this should not be mixed with each other. So we can have this point specific gravity of manometer greater than that of pipe, so that we require lesser length of this U-tube manometer. Liquid in manometer should not be mixed in that pipe. Third, for low pressure, liquid with low specific gravity is preferred, because if you will go with high specific gravity, then the depth changes will be less. And for measuring vacuum pressure, liquid with higher specific gravity is preferred. Then we can have, let us, this X. We have this will be H1, this will be H2, and we are interested to measure it. Now how we will start this? We can start from this point. If we are downward, we have plus. If we will have upward, we have minus. So we have PA plus gamma 1 H1, and then we have minus gamma 2 H2, and that is equal to, we have here atmospheric pressure. Then we have this one, PA plus gamma 1 H1 minus gamma 2 H2, and that is equal to P atmosphere. And that you can consider it as 0. In that case, I will get PA equal to minus gamma 1 H1 plus gamma 2 H2. Now, if we will go YouTube differential manometer, when we will go this one, so name itself indicate whenever we have to measure the difference between the points, pressure at 2 points, then we will use this YouTube differential manometer. The lower part of the manometer contains a manometric fluid which is heavier than the liquid for which pressure difference is to be measured. So let us, we have these two pipes and we are going to connect this YouTube differential manometer to this. Now we are in this fashion. If we will add a liquid in this, so we are going to change this height of the liquid. Now we are in this way, and let us, we are going to measure the pressure difference between the two. Now you can go in this fashion, PA, then come downward, then go upward, downward we have plus, upward we have minus, or we can have this XX, and we will consider left limb, right limb, and as this is above, so we will take highermost point from left, highermost from right, and then we will write the equation. So let us, we will go first left side. So we have PA plus gamma 1 H1. So we are coming downward. So we have value plus, and that is equal to, we have this as PB, and then we have plus gamma 2 S2 plus gamma 3 H3 or gamma G H3. And likewise, we can write this equation, and from which we are in position to measure the gamma 1 H1. Then we have inverted YouTube manometer. So this we are going to use to measure small pressure difference between the 2 points. And in this, we have liquid in manometer that is of low specific gravity. Now in this, we are in the same fashion that, but as we are going up, so we have to consider minus, and lowermost point will be considered, and we have PA minus gamma 1 H1, and that is equal to PB minus gamma 2 S2 minus gamma GS3. So we have this manometer in this way. Now my liquid in the manometer is at XX, and this is vertical column manometer. And now if you will add liquid in this one, so you can see this delta H will be the apply pressure to this liquid in the manometer, and therefore depth of the liquid manometer will go downward by delta H, and that will increase H2 in your this limb. So you can see this very carefully. So we have like this. Now your liquid will be inserted in this, and therefore your delta H will be going downward in your YouTube manometer. So it comes downward, you can see over here, and then as it is coming downward, so your depth in this tube will go up, that you can see, and that is height H2, and therefore we can write the equations. Now you can see this. So what will happen in this case? So A into delta H, this liquid will go down, and how much will be up? So this will be area of this small a, capital area is of this A into H2. And then we are going to get this relationship for delta H equal to H2 upon A. Now if we will write equation, that is pressure above, now I have this Y, and then I will write for this, that is above this on this side and on this side. So I will take this Y likewise. So above this we are going to consider, and above this we are going to consider. So what we will get? So we are going to get this PA, then plus we have gamma 1 rho 1 G H1, and then we have again plus this, that is H1 plus delta H. Whereas if you will go over here, then what you will get? So we have this H2, and then we have this will be delta H, and therefore we will get it as gamma rho 2G into H2 plus delta H. And then we are going to simplify this. So from this we are going to get, we have taken this term on this side. So we are going to get this rho 2G H2 plus delta H minus rho 1G H1 plus delta H. And then we are going to again simplify this. And by simplifying, we will get delta H in bracket rho 2G minus rho 1G plus rho 2G H2 minus rho 1G H1. Now delta H already we have calculated in terms of area of this single column manometer and area of tube. And from this we will get value of PA, and that is equal to AH2 upon capital A, rho 2g minus rho 1g plus rho 2g h2 minus rho 1g h1. So this is all about your theory part, which is related with your pressure and its measurement. So in next video, we will solve problems related this. Thank you.